Hillis between the tackles. Nice hole for Peyton Hillis.
Room on Dancing with the Stars.
I would probably describe the Ickey Shuffle as
In the NFL, consistency is king. But for some running backs, lightning strikes only once. They explode onto the scene, dominate defenses, and capture our imagination, only to fade away as quickly as they arrived.
The only player in NFL history to make his first 3 starts against Super Bowl winning quarterbacks.
From late-round draft picks who defied the odds to top prospects who couldn't live up to the hype, these are the biggest one-year wonder running backs of all time.
He's just a difficult running back to tackle. He's so big and he's so strong.
Peyton Hillis looked like and played like a living battering ram. His journey from 7th-round pick to NFL stardom is the stuff of fairy tales. After 2 pretty terrible seasons with the Broncos, where he totaled less than 400 yards, Hillis found himself in Cleveland of all places for the 2010 season.
Got stuffed, and then the second effort, he dives, he's in, touchdown! And
what followed was a year that no one ever saw coming. Hillis bulldozed his way through defenses, racking up 1,177 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns in a season for the ages. He even added 477 yards through the air, making him a true dual-threat back. His breakout moment came in Week 9 against the Patriots, where he smashed through Bill Belichick's defense for 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hillis's bruising style and surprising agility made him a fan favorite. It was reminiscent of watching prime Mike Alstott running practically horizontal to the field. His season was so impressive that he was even voted as the cover star of Madden NFL 12. But of course, as it's already done with Christian McCaffrey this year, the infamous Madden curse struck. Injuries and contract disputes derailed his career, and he never rushed for more than 600 yards in a season again. Hill's meteoric rise and fall are a reminder of how quickly fortunes can change in the NFL. Perhaps the only better example is the next player on the list. You might have heard of the Ickey Shuffle, but before there was the Ickey Shuffle, there was Ickey Woods, a 2nd-round pick who took the NFL by storm in 1988. In his rookie season, Woods became the heartbeat of the Bengals offense, rushing for 1,066 yards and 15 touchdowns. His unique touchdown celebration became a cultural phenomenon, endearing him to fans across the league and even internationally.
Time, the Ickey Shuffle. Personally, I'm in love with the Ickey Shuffle. I would marry the Ickey Shuffle.
Wood's finest hour came in the AFC Championship game, where he punched in 2 crucial touchdowns to send the Bengals to Super Bowl 23. Though Cincinnati fell short against the 49ers, Woods had established himself as a star in the making. But fate had other plans. A devastating knee injury in 1989 meant he was never the same again. He tried to battle back, but the magic was gone. After 2 more seasons of diminishing returns, Woods hung up his cleats in 1991. His brief but memorable career left fans wondering what could have been if injuries hadn't cut short his promising start. As NFL history tends to repeat itself, 2 decades later, it would happen all over again. With a name like Cadillac, destiny dares you to play halfback in the NFL. When the Buccaneers selected Cadillac Williams 5th overall in 2005, they thought they'd found their franchise running back. For 1 season, it looked like they had. Williams exploded onto the scene, setting an NFL record with 434 rushing yards in his first 3 games. He finished his rookie campaign with 1,178 yards and 6 touchdowns, earning him the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year award. Williams' combination of speed, vision, and power had fans and analysts alike predicting a bright future. It seemed like he was ready to join the ranks of the league's elite backs, up there with Shaun Alexander, Ricky Williams, and LaDainian Tomlinson. But football can be a cruel sport. Multiple knee injuries in subsequent seasons robbed Williams of his explosiveness. While he managed to carve out a respectable career as a situational back, he never again reached the heights of his rookie year. It's a sobering reminder of how quickly injuries can derail even the most promising of careers.
touchdown. Cadillac Williams takes it in.
Robert Edwards may be a forgotten man, but in 1998, he was the talk of the league. The Patriots' first-round selection looked destined for stardom during his rookie season. Taking the league by storm, amassing 166 yards in the first half of his first game. He went on to set a record for consecutive games with a touchdown to begin a career and amassed over 1,400 total yards and 12 touchdowns on the year. So how come we haven't heard more about him? Well, that was pretty much the only season Edwards would play in the NFL. During the 1998 Pro Bowl week, Edwards suffered a career-ending injury playing, listen to this, flag football. The injury would sideline him until 2002, when he returned for one more season with the Dolphins in a backup role. For his final season in the league, finishing with 20 attempts for a little over 100 yards for the year. A truly heartbreaking story for Edwards, who remains one of the NFL's biggest what-ifs until this day. Not all running backs come out of the gates like Ickey, Cadillac, and Edwards. Some take the long route to stardom, just like our next two running backs on this list. In 2005, the Raiders for once looked like geniuses when they signed running back Lamont Jordan to a big money contract. Jordan had been stuck behind Curtis Martin in New York for his first 4 seasons. Although Jordan's was seemingly a talented running back, he had a breakout year in his first year with the Silver and Black. In 2005, he racked up 1,500 total yards with 11 TDs in only 14 games, leading all running backs with 70 receptions. He looked like one of the most dynamic dual threats the league had seen in a while, blazing fast at 5'11" and 242 pounds.
Did you already put a little bee in Kerry Collins' ear about looking to you if he's going to toss the ball maybe out of the backfield a couple times?
Raiders fans were in a frenzy ahead of the season as head coach Norv Turner had promised a dynamic offensive performance as he paired Jordan up with newly acquired Randy Moss and Kerry Collins as QB. However, things did not go as planned for Jordan, or the Raiders for that matter. Going from bench warmer with the Jets to an increased workload seemed like a toll. He was slowed by injuries and never eclipsed the 600-yard mark on the ground for the remainder of his career. Another peculiar running back on this list is Justin Forsett. Forsett's journey was anything but conventional. A 7th-round pick by the Seahawks in 2008, he bounced around the league for years as a backup and special teams player. But in 2014, at the age of 29, Forsett finally got his chance to shine with the Baltimore Ravens. And shine he did. Forsett exploded for 1,266 rushing yards, averaging 5.4 yards per carry. His biggest performance came in Week 12 against the Saints, where he slashed through the New Orleans defense for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. Forsett's patient running style and ability to find creases in the defense made him a perfect fit for Gary Kubiak's zone-blocking scheme. As all running backs on this list, Forsett's late career renaissance proved short-lived. He managed just 641 yards in 2015 and never surpassed 300 yards in a season again. While his 2014 campaign was a testament to perseverance, it also highlighted the harsh nature of success in the NFL, especially for running backs on the wrong side of 30.
With the 3rd pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Trent Richardson.
Few running backs entered the NFL with higher expectations than Trent Richardson. Drafted 3rd overall by the Browns in 2012, Richardson was hailed as the next great Alabama back, following in the footsteps of legends like Shaun Alexander and Mark Ingram. Richardson's rookie season seemed to justify the hype. He rushed for 950 yards and 11 touchdowns, adding 367 receiving yards to showcase his versatility. His NFL debut was particularly memorable as he rumbled for 122 yards and a touchdown against the Eagles. Richardson's running style was a blend of power and agility that drew comparisons to NFL greats. Built like a tank at 5'9" and 230 pounds, he could bulldoze through defenders with ease. but he also had nimble feet, great hands, and a surprising burst, allowing him to wriggle through tight spaces. His fall from grace was as swift as it was shocking. Traded to the Colts just 2 games into his second season, he struggled with efficiency, and by 2015, he was out of the NFL entirely, remaining one of the NFL's best reminders of how difficult it can be to translate college success to the pro level. When the Texans drafted Steve Slayton in the 3rd round of the 2008 draft, they'd hoped they'd found a solid contributor. What they got, at least for one season, was a star. Slayton's rookie campaign was spectacular. He racked up 1,282 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, and added 377 receiving yards for good measure. Slayton's breakout moment came in Week 16 against the Colts, where he ran for 156 yards and a touchdown. His combination of speed and elusiveness was the stuff offensive coordinators around the league dream of, and it seemed the Texans had found their running back of the future. But Slayton's follow-up season was a different story. Plagued by fumble issues and a neck injury, he lost his starting job and never regained his rookie form. He managed just 437 yards in 2009 and was out of the league by 2011. It was a shooting star of a career which sure won lots of people their fantasy football leagues, which the next player on the list surely did as well. A 7th-round pick by the Jets in 2004, Ward bounced around before finding a home with the Giants. In 2008, as part of the Earth, Wind, and Fire backfield trio, Ward had his breakout season. Despite sharing carries with Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw, Ward rushed for 1,025 yards at an impressive 5.6 yards per clip. In Week 16 against the Panthers, he shone, exploding for 215 yards to clinch home field advantage for the Giants. Teams were drawn to Ward's efficiency and his fresh legs, believing his limited carries meant he had plenty of tread left on the tires. His success in a committee backfield also led many to speculate about his potential as a featured back. Ward's breakout year earned him a big contract with the Buccaneers, but his success proved short-lived. He managed just 409 yards in 2009 and was cut after 1 season. Like other players on the list, Ward's short-lived career is proof of how difficult it can be to evaluate running backs, especially when they're in committee situations. But it also shows the risk of paying for past performance in a position with such a short shelf life. A 5th-round pick by the Dolphins in 2015, Ajayi exploded onto the scene in his 2nd season. In 2016, he rushed for 1,272 yards and 8 touchdowns, including 3 200-yard games. His back-to-back 200-yard performances made him just the 4th player in NFL history to accomplish that feat. Ajayi's bruising running style and ability to break tackles made him a nightmare for defenses. It was pretty obvious that the Dolphins had found their next Ricky Williams, with a British accent too. Ajayi looked like he was here to stay until he wasn't, because just as quickly as he rose to prominence, he fell back to earth. Traded to the Eagles midway through the 2017 season, Ajayi won a Super Bowl ring but never reached the level of play that turned heads with his former team. Injuries took their toll, and he never rushed for more than 870 yards in a season ever again, robbing Eagles fans and fantasy football enthusiasts of their hopes and dreams to win glory in their leagues. The NFL sure lives up to its famous not-for-long acronym when it comes to these one-hit wonder running backs. For one brief season, they all stood at the top of the football world, capturing the hearts of fans everywhere. But as quickly as they rose, they fell back to earth, victims of injuries, changing schemes, or the brutal nature of their position. You can't look back on these one-hit wonders without wondering what might have been. All we're left with is memories that will last a lifetime, just not in the way they would have hoped.